So welcome back to some more scary and creepy videos that'll make you question your reality. But remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. All right, let's get to the video.
The person who submitted this story wishes to remain anonymous, so we're going to call her Jamie. When Jamie was about 4 years old, her father passed away due to a shooting that happened in the home. Ever since he passed away, Jamie has always had dreams about her father. But one dream that took place when Jamie was about 15 years old has stayed with her for years. Jamie used to have a door in her bedroom that led to the backyard of her house. She never used to really lock those doors since she lived in a fairly safe neighborhood and never felt the need to. Until one night, Jamie falls asleep and wakes up to a pitch black room. Once she's able to adjust her eyes, she sees that her father is sitting at the foot of her bed. She sees that her father has a very serious look on his face. And then he starts to say, "Lock the door. Lock the door.
He's warning.
Lock the door."
He's warning.
Over and over again. Meanwhile, Jamie can't move, she can't talk, so she's assuming that she's just having like a sleep paralysis dream. Her father just continues to sit there, repeating himself over and over again. Finally, Jamie does wake up and her father's no longer there. At this point, it's about 1:03 a.m. and Jamie's not sure if she dreamt that or if that really took place. But just to be safe, she decided to get up and lock the bedroom door that led to the backyard. The next morning, once Jamie wakes up, she sees that cops are at her house, so she gets up and asks her mom what's going on. Jamie's mom shows her security footage of a man trying to break into their home. He is seen trying to open several of the windows in the house until he finally gets to Jamie's bedroom door and he is seen trying to open it. The timestamp on that video was 1:24 a.m. Jamie is convinced that her father's spirit came to protect her even after death. The person who submitted the story was
Shout outs to all the good dads in the world. Dads that go to great lengths for their children. Stop at nothing to protect them. I'm that dad, bro. Like, nothing's stopping me from protecting not even death is stopping me. Just like that dad. Now, I ain't gonna lie. In the beginning, I was kind of weirded out at first because I ain't really know where she was going with that. But dad was there protecting his child. He did whatever he needed to do. And that's probably all he could do. Came down and was her guardian angel. That's what I'm talking about, man. Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all have an alarm system on your home? Because I was always big about protecting my home in ways which, I can't really disclose here. But you know how that's the way I've always had things to be able to make sure I protect my family, right? But getting an alarm system was the best thing that I was kind of persuaded to get into. Queen had been trying to persuade me for years to get an alarm system, I was like, nah, I got us. Well, when we moved just this recent time, she was on me and I was like, okay, let's try it out. Bro, best money ever spent. I mean, from the cameras around the home to be able to have the app on your phone, to be able to look at all different sides of your home, any type of motion or movement, you get alerts, everything. Somebody open a window, somebody open a door, alarms going off, police are on the way. We are, you know what I'm saying? Like everything, even down to like gases, different gases to be able to detect. You know what I mean? If you deal with different things like we do, our fireplace is gas, our stove is gas. So just having that sense of protection on top of the man of the house being that protector is just, oh man, you know what I mean? Stories like this, bro, almost bring you to tears. You know what I mean? Just to know that parent reached out from the other side to look after his daughter. Wow, good story. Let's keep going.
I'm scared right now. It's currently 1 in the morning, and my boyfriend is at work. It's just me and my son. And hold on. I just heard keys. I just heard keys open my door. So I'm thinking he might have come home early. He don't supposed to get off till tomorrow. So I hear movement, I hear jiggling, I hear keys. And I hear movement in the living room. Now my son's room is across from our room. And we have motion lights in there for him. So when he wake up at night, in case he crawl out the bed. I'm about to show y'all. Completely dark. You have to step in his room to activate the motion light, right? There's 2 of them. Which if I cut off my bathroom light, I can see that light on from my room, right? Ooh, y'all. So I'm thinking he went in there to check on the baby because he do that. He always come in the house no matter what time it is and he check on him first. So, hold on, my baby. After maybe like 5 minutes, I don't hear him moving no more. So I'm like, damn, is he gonna come in the room? Like, you know, like me and the baby in the room. I know he didn't see the baby was in his bed because I got him out and I put him in bed with me because sometimes I don't like sleeping by myself. This apartment is kind of weird. We just moved here a few months ago and it's just always been like little, like, that's another story though. But so I get up. I get up and I go out here. And ain't nobody here, y'all. There's nobody here. There's nobody here. I turned on all the lights. I'm walking around the house. There's nobody here. How can motion lights come on without motion? I heard keys. I heard movement in my living room. Yeah, I'm not crazy. Like, I heard that. Clear as day. Clear as day. Not a dream. And there's nobody here but me and my son. Oh my God.
Bro, if I'm living in a place and it look like she's been crying for a long time, there's no way in the world I'm staying in a place where I gotta be that terrified. Bro, look at her face. Look at how puffy her eyes are. She is completely terrified. No way you need to be staying in a home like that. Secondly, you don't need to be staying at a home by yourself. You need a dog. You need some type of animal there to let you know when a presence or if it can sense someone's presence. If I come home and my woman is looking like this, bro, oh no. Oh no. I can't have you here, but there's no way I'm gonna be able to be at work and get my work done. And you at home, scared. I mean, what's worse than scared? Because she's that. Like, she need to call somebody over and bless that house too, bro. Like, and then how do you send your kid back in that room? You sending your kid back in there? Ain't no way I could be able in the next room sleeping and my kid is over there. I'd be stressed out. I wouldn't get no sleep. Motion lights. Like, I just couldn't believe how much she was like crying and scared. Why you ain't pick up the phone and call him? Only way somebody's calling me and I'm not able to pick up is my job don't allow phone. If not, I'm picking up. You tell me that, I'm coming home. Like, no. She need a dog or something. Something to help back her up, bro. She need to go through that home with some sage or something like. And the fact that she stayed there Did you notice her like throughout the whole video? She just kept looking back, kept looking back. So one, she hasn't cleared the house or secured the home and made sure that nobody's in there. Why are you even on the phone recording a video and not even calling police or your husband, boyfriend? I think that's the part that got me too. Like, why are you recording? Like, no, you need to be on the phone with a family member or somebody to come get you, or telling them that you just packed your kid up and you are on the way. On the way. You should have been out of that house, bro. I ain't never seen nobody that terrified as she look in her eyes right now, bro. She don't, most women care. She didn't even care how she looked coming on the camera. She just needed to get that out, bro. Whew. Let's keep going.
This is why rental houses terrify me. So Paula was staying at an Airbnb outside of Detroit by herself. Her job had sent her there for training. And immediately in the house, she starts feeling like something is off. There was always weird shadows outside the windows, and she would hear footsteps on the roof really late at night. She ends up locking herself outside of the rental the next day, but it's not a huge deal because the property manager actually lives in the house next to it. So she asks him about the footsteps she hears on the roof at night, and he says that they have lots of raccoons in the area, but she kind of knows that it's not a raccoon. He lets her back into the house and tells her that her keys are on the bedside table, which that's kind of weird. How did he know that? Another thing about the property manager is he's an older gentleman, so he listens to his TV on full volume like all night, and she can hear it from her house. So the next night, it's kind of the same thing. Weird shadows outside the window, creaking on the roof, and then her neighbor's insanely loud television. And Paula decides that she's had enough, so she opens her side door to go over to her neighbor's house to tell him to knock it off. And that's when she stops in her tracks. She can see his TV through the window. And on it is Paula, standing at the door, looking out the window. And then she sees him get up out of his chair, walk over to the window, and smile at her. This is why rental houses terrify me.
Airbnbs, man. Airbnbs, bro. Like, I don't care if I go the rest of my life and never stay at another one. You know what I mean? I know that's probably not gonna happen. Anytime we go out of town with a group of people, somebody always mentions that we get a good deal. So the chances are unlikely, but bro, I'm always paranoid about them. Seriously, man. I've seen videos where people have found like little trap doors under the bed leading to different things. They found little doors in the closet. They found cameras, all kind of different things at an Airbnb, man. People are creepy. And then people put up like fake photos and different things. That might not be the person that's owning the Airbnb that you think you're talking to. And they ask like weird questions and all kind of stuff like that, man. No, it's beyond creepy. And it hasn't gotten any better, man. There's so many different Airbnb horror stories out there. Man. Could you imagine feeling like that? And then you get up and then you see somebody's watching you? Like, how can you? What's a good way? Are there devices that you can wand like the ceiling and different places in the room to try to pick up and make sure no cameras? Put that in the comment section for me, please. I need one of those. Something that you can wand around the home and detect cameras. I need one of those ASAP. I think I'm gonna have to require that before I stay at another Airbnb. I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not. People are way too crazy out here in this world, man, and I refuse to let them try to get over on me. Period. Look at that. It done got me mad. Listen, y'all get at me in the comment section, man, and let me know what y'all thought of these crazy videos, man. I told y'all this world is crazy out here. Beyond crazy out here, man. This type of stuff makes you question reality. It's your boy L, man. Y'all stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace. All right, y'all. So listen, tonight's video is centered around question everything. Even when it comes from me. Question, fact check, question everything. All right? How the old saying go? believe half of what you see and none of what you hear? Hold that near and dear and close to you. All right, let's check some of this stuff out.
When I started to realize that all this shit is made up, it literally shifted my perspective on everything. Money.
Yo, why she did that little spin move right there? I gotta see that again. Like, that was completely random. Why did she do that spin move?
When I started to realize that all this is made up, it literally shifted my perspective on everything. Money, time, gender, race, everything. And like, look, actually, let's even specifically talk about things like beauty, money, working, productivity. All of these cultural values are made up. But the issue is, whose imagination are we living in? And that is why colonialism is so dangerous, because we are living within the imagination of white colonial men who decided what it means to be beautiful, what it means to be worthy, what it means to be productive. Why is productivity even a value that we have? Who does that benefit? When you realize that everything is made up, it shifts your whole worldview. Look what they did with daylight savings. Time is made up. Weekends, weekdays. What the We're on a floating rock. What the are we doing? And the issue is, the marginalized people who have the radical imagination never actually have the power to make that imagination come true. And that is why liberation movements are so important. Okay, the end.
Question everything. Told you that's the theme of tonight, man. And when you really start to question everything, like she said, it's a shift. I call it your life changes. Your life changes. You're no longer just walking through this world just clueless and you know what I'm saying? You're no longer doing that. You've been unplugged in a sense. And now things have got, in order to be in your life, they have to have purpose. You have to understand. All things start, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. It's also at the same time, like once you start shifting and questioning things, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It can stress you at times. And that's one thing about me. I'm gonna give you the real, whether you like it or not. It can stress you at some times. You know what I mean? It can make you seem like you're crazy, like you go through all different types of emotional states. You do. You do. So it's just like Neo. The first time he was introduced, and then they finally took him back out of the Matrix, and he kind of had a little episode, and it was a lot to digest. It is, man. But if you're a person that can handle it, I you know what I mean, you do what you will with it. But I think I like it. I like the shift that happened to me. If I could right now, I'd stand up and do the little spin around like she just did. Let's keep going.
These are not scenes from some old European town. This is the land of 1,000 lakes, Minnesota, from the late 1800s to the early 1900s. From St. Paul to Minneapolis, Duluth, and all places in between. The combined population of the entire state was a little bit over 1 million at the time. And the sky is so whited out in this picture, it even took part of the building with it. Just look at all those antennas, signs of that antiquitech. Look at this next scene here, that giant light tower. They said that was to light the entire city. How very old and weathered some of this architecture looks too. Not bad for a state only 50 years old at the time of these pictures. Some of these buildings look like they've been here far longer, at least 500 years or more. This city hall looks like it's being dug out rather than constructed. If you believe this was all built in 50 years with horse and buggy, with a population under 1 million, with no power tools, just some hammers and chisels, all while the rest of America is being built up with equally grand and improbable structures, then congratulations, my friend, you are an NPC. But those with open eyes to see through the obvious lies can tell these structures have been here for quite some time, long before our history, that is nothing more than a set of lies, told us. Question everything, friends. Until next time. These are not.
Bro, the architecture from back then is just nothing shy of amazing. Like, these pictures don't do it justice. You know what I mean? And a lot of that stuff could possibly still be standing to this day. That's why I make the comparison all the time. When we look at things being built, and we're talking about architecture now, structures being built, homes, all that kind of stuff like now, it doesn't hold a candle to the things they built back then. Those things were made to withstand some stuff. This thing now, good gust of wind. Out of here. Out of here. Being built by the people and the residents of the town or city coming together. We can't even come together to formulate an opinion. We can't come together to choose a government official. We can't come together for anything. But they would. They loved their community, their towns, their cities. They took pride in them. What pride do we have in ours these days? You look at them, man. Where's the pride? It's almost like you have to go overseas to different locations and places in order to find communities that really care for their city. I'm not saying that no one here does. It's a few sprinkled in. But it's like you got to go overseas to see that actual real love and pride in the place that they call home. Like, that's what these type of photos, and like he said those was from the early 1800s, 1900s, man. Just amazing, man. So when you see stuff like this getting tore down, that breaks my heart, man. We should be preserving this history. Like, instead of trying to erase, replace, we should be preserving this stuff and studying it and trying to learn how they did it.
First big lie. These are a threat to the national security. Inferring that from outer space there's a threat. It's not true. Civilizations that are hundreds of thousands to millions of years more advanced than we are, if they were a threat, we'd be a charcoal floating through space about 1945 August with the atomic bomb. Number two, we'll get to that in a moment. Number two, they will say that we don't know what these are. Maybe they're from China. Maybe they're, and even senior members of the Senate intelligence community have said that. We don't know. Because some of those guys have gone up there and whispered in their ear all this disinformation and spin. I know who they are. When in reality, we know what they are, where they come from, which ones are man-made and which ones are extraterrestrial. We absolutely have that data. But see, someone like myself saying that, that's going to get cut out of any show. For example, I was on a show, it had 22 million people listening live back some years ago. And I started talking about some of the senior membership of this committee that's running this covert program. And I got to one name. You know, I talked about Admiral Bobby Ray Inman. He's been involved for decades for this. And then he went to the Board of Science Applications International Corporation, SAIC. It's one of the crown jewels of contracting on these exotic propulsion and energy systems. And then I think it was during the election, the second election for W, I mentioned that one of the most senior people is Dick Cheney. And we went to an unscheduled commercial break. A voice broke in, and the host had no idea. And it said, Dr. Greer, change the direction of this conversation now.
And then people want to talk about freedom of speech or you know what I mean? How if I say something or I mention the wrong name, then I something happens, my livelihood is taken away, The way I feed myself is now in jeopardy because my business may go under. Everything and my character is attacked. It's like I can talk about it, but I can't go too deep. Or I can talk about it, but I can't mention names. I can talk about it, but I can't. I gotta toe the line with the truth. You know what I mean? People that do far more than what I ain't even scratching the surface, man. Again, entertainment purposes is all this is for. But there's people out there risking their lives to tell and talk about certain things and issues and ask certain questions. Question everything. Remember, theme of the video. There's people out there who know what they're doing. And are living with the consequences of it when they go to expose, whistleblow. Man, Greer, man, how can you be sitting there talking and they come on and say, change the conversation? It's like, why even have him on the show then? You know what he's coming to talk about. You know it. Well, it's too much. You got more than what you bargained for and expected.
You never know what remains hidden just beneath the surface.
Oh no.
In this post-apocalyptic world of ours. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
I don't need to know what's in there. But I do need to know what's in there. Without me going in there. See what I did right there? Bars. Yeah, we need an underwater drone for that. I hope no human being went in there. Bro. Some places don't need a keep out sign in order for me to know to keep out of there. But I can't say. It could be some answers to some questions in there. Sheesh. How would they, you would need a tagline. Of course, you're going to need air supply. You're going to need lights. Like, you're going to need some type of monitor to know what's in the water and stuff like that. Like, yeah, where is this? Where is this located? Like, don't get me wrong. This excites my curiosity. Who knows? We could find the lost city of Atlantis in there. Like, nah. There's also Megalodon, Kraken, all of that could be in there too, man. Wonder why we ain't seen them? Probably because they're in there. I don't know. I need a part 2 for this though, bro. Who is this guy? I'm gonna have to go back and look at the name and see, so I can get see if he has an part 2. Maybe he went inside and put on a GoPro and went in there and just started exploring. I'd definitely watch though. I'd watch.
What's that one thing that sparked in your brain that made you question everything?
When I was told I was programmed to live the life I was living, that I wasn't really thinking freely for myself, and my choices were all bound by my program. I had a mentor use this example, and it shook me. He said, when you get dressed in the morning and you put your pants on, do you put your left or right leg in first? I said right leg because I'm right-handed. He said that's not the case at all.
I'm left-handed. Exactly. And I put mine on right leg. Start with the right leg. Yeah. That would mess me up right there, man. I think from now on, I'm gonna start putting my pants leg on both legs at a time. That's what I'm gonna do now. See, can I throw it off? Throw this whole simulation off.
When your parents got you dressed, they held out your pants and said, give me your leg. And if you didn't give them the right leg, they'd say, not that leg, the other leg. And it blew my mind because I realized I was not choosing to get dressed from my own free will. I had been conditioned and programmed to do it that way. My mind immediately saw the repercussions. My whole life had been programmed. I wasn't thinking my own thoughts. I didn't have my own beliefs. I didn't have my own feelings. No wonder I had anxiety. No wonder I didn't have any money. My parents had those things. My whole life was programmed. I started to wonder if I could really control my mind, what could life look like?
What's that one?
Whew. That's beyond deep. Well beyond deep. What do they say? A lot of the stuff that we come to know, we've already learned by a young age. That's crazy. I'm sitting here trying to go back in my mind. And I know this is going to sound weird to y'all, but I don't care. I'm trying to literally go back in my mind and figure and remember, access that part of my memory bank that could possibly tell me how I put my pants leg on as a kid with my parents. Because if they do it to where the parent is standing like this and the kid is facing that way, they're both facing the same way, but they put the pants over the kid and say, all right, step in these, then the kid probably is going to put this right leg in. But if they're facing each other and they go to try to do it, I just for the life of me can't think of what leg my kid would use first back when I used to do that to him. I'm sitting here thinking about pants legs, and that threw me off. Whew. I did not expect that one. Sorry. I didn't know pants legs and how you put them on and stuff could have so many complexities. Can you see my anxiety raising? I gotta moving on.
You have to start questioning things. You have to start questioning the thoughts, the ideas, the things that are running through your head, because honestly, we're just letting our minds make up things and we're just believing in them. Like, your brain's gonna tell you you're not good enough. You're just gonna believe it? Why? Why believe that? One of the things that has helped me really skyrocket my personal growth journey is questioning everything. You have to ask yourself questions, because we just get comfortable in the things that are running in and out of our minds and we just go with them. Some of them are not okay. Some of the way that we treat ourselves, the things that we're saying to ourselves is not okay. And you have to start questioning things.
That's true, man. You really got to start to question a lot of things. A lot of things that just don't let your mind just control you. You control it. You control it. Like, your mind will just start to go crazy and it'll become overwhelming. It'll make your anxiety flare up. It'll do all of those things, but you have to regain control of your thoughts. You have to reprogram your mind. And I know that sounds easier said than done, but you got to start somewhere. Condition yourself. We've been told all the time. You mean, one of the biggest things I think that changed my trajectory, or one of the things, I'm not going to say it's the sole thing, but watching The Secret and figuring out that your thoughts are responsible for a lot of things helped me change things. Now, I'm human. So it's not always like that, though. Some days are good, some days are bad, bro, where your thoughts they just take over and you're like, man, why am I even letting this get to me? And it does. It does. And it lives in there. And inside, it finds a space, gets comfortable, and decides to set up shop in a space in your brain. And it's hard, but you just got to take it day by day, day by day, day by day. You know what I mean? And hopefully you get to a better place. Shout outs to y'all, man. Before you roll out, make sure you hit that like button and let me know what you thought of the video, and stick around and stay tuned, man. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace. All right, y'all. So welcome back today, man, for some more creepy and bizarre TikToks, bro. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Always got to get that out the way first. Now let's get to the craziness.
All the rich families, the monarchy, all the presidents are all related to these trans-dimensional shape-shifting lizards. All the rich families.
So that's how we starting out right out the gate, huh? Reptilians, huh? You know what I mean? I mean, at this point, you've heard it enough by now. You got to make a decision whether you believe or not. whether you believe or not, bro, I'm starting to hear it everywhere, not just on TikTok and the conspiracy theory forums. I'm hearing that everywhere. Movies, little subtle things I'm paying attention to now, all kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure there's some movies out there y'all could probably drop in the comment section that I could check out and go hear and see some more where they talk about that and dive deeper. I'm here for it. I'm hearing it too much. You got to make a decision now.
Okay, so this is a very slowed down screen recording I took, and I know everybody is trying to find the aliens in front of these guys, but I noticed something insane, and I want everybody, my two friends who will watch this, to take a look down, pay attention to two areas. We're going to look down here on the bottom right behind their fence and right up there, but we're going to first start down here because I found something crazy. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to what I believe is the creepiest part of this video. And I'm going to point out two things you need to pay attention to right here, which is the head. And if you look really close, there's actually a shiny black eye. And what you will see in about a minute is a hand. That, I believe, is some creature, non-human, crouching down. And that was its eye I just pointed at. And I want you to pay attention to what appear to be fingers running up the fence, as if it's kneeling down or something and peering out. And then there you go. See the fingers? And I think I go back and forth a couple times here, but it looks to me like there's a little other or a big creature looking through the fence on the bottom there, crouched down. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but you tell me. And then there's his fingers going right up and down, up and down. Just looks like almost a human hand crawling up the fence, and at the very beginning you see an eye, and I think right here I show you the fingers. This is my really poor attempt at drawing over the fingers, but you get it. So what's really interesting about this is it is happening next to them and kind of in front of them, but behind a fence. Yeah, the fingers are really crazy. So I think I'm going to show it one more time, and then I zoom out, and I'll show you what even made me realize this was here. So, okay, so see how many different times we're looking. So what I noticed was if you look at the top right, look at the top right now, there's actually a shadow figure. It almost looks like it's a dense, shadowy figure comes into frame. If you're looking right, at the three fence posts, if you're looking at the top right of them, you're actually going to see something that looks like a shadow figure that has density, and it's only there for about a minute. And when it walks in the frame, I think I'm just going to highlight it right here. I was doing the best I could on my phone. I noticed there was movement below it, so I don't know if maybe whatever creature was projecting a shadow up above it or something. But see, there's the eye and the hands, but it also looks like there's another aspect to it, which is that shadow that you can clearly see walking. I know everybody's looking for the alien in front of them, but there's one hiding next to them. Okay, so this is a very slowed down.
He need to get this footage to a professional that can analyze it, apply different things to it to try to, you know what I mean, enhance the shadows or stuff like that, and really go in depth and break this footage down to make sure or to verify what he's saying is true. Because at the same time, I can't help myself but thinking, okay, it's multiple people walking through this gate. Is that their shadow projecting onto the fence there? You know what I mean? But I couldn't help but also see what he was calling the hands that was kind of protruding through the gate a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. He need to get this footage to somebody who could possibly break this down. We need to know. We need to know, fam. Well, you might be on to something. But until then, if you just put this out like this here, people are going to quick to say, man, that's their shadow. We need some more evidence, proof.
If you were in the deepest lake in the world and were attacked by giant intelligent fish people, what would you do? So there's this conspiracy about this super deep lake and how there's basically an underwater civilization there that some call aliens, and yeah, let's talk about it. So in 2009, the Russian government allegedly declassified these top secret documents, and it was something about the Russian Navy encountering something in the deepest lake in the world, Lake Baikal. Lake Baikal is over 5,000 feet deep. That's over a mile deep, so you can see how something could hide from the rest of the world there. The document goes on to tell about how in 1982, the Russian Navy divers were doing this research mission 164 feet deep, which is 50 meters, and that they encountered something while they were down there. They claim that they suddenly realized they were being watched by these humanoid-like figures that were 9 feet tall, wearing helmets, and didn't have normal scuba gear. These things that were watching them had become known as the swimmers of Lake Baikal. And when they saw these things, being an average Russian diver, they decided to go and capture one of these 9 feet tall alien swimming things without any weapons or equipment, and guess what happened? Basically, these entities reacted to the divers coming at them and forced all 7 divers up to the top super quick from super deep. And if you know anything about diving, this is really bad. If you're a diver, there were 7 divers and 3 of them died from the bends, which is like decompressing really fast. So yeah, people think there's like an ancient civilization down there, and they see like lights over the lake sometimes and down in the lake, and it's really freaky. It's pretty crazy. What do you think it was? And if you were in the deepest lake in the world,
I think it's possible, man. We just watched the other day a dude do extensive, fam. I still don't think he went to sleep yet. That's how much time he's invested into finding out what he was looking up. But he showed these sort of ocean floor pictures, and it looked like pyramids. And I kept saying, you know what? Those look like underground cities. Those look like underground cities. I kept beating that into the ground. Underground cities. So when I hear stuff like that and they possibly ran into them diving down below, that's even further confirmation for me, bro. Call me crazy all you want to. I just got a feeling that, man, we're going to continue to be at 3% of the ocean discovered for the rest of our lives. Why is that?
But it's the weirdest story I think I've ever heard. His girlfriend, and she seems to be pretty normal and legit, claims that he's an alien hybrid, that he was placed on this planet to do something specifically. Nothing adds up about his case. Nothing.
When examining the body, the coroner's office could not find any fingerprints, even though fingerprints are the last skin tissue to decompose.
But it's the weirdest story I think I've...
No fingerprints? That right there could be the way to identify some people, but what do you walk around to be able to check someone's fingerprints? You know what I mean? How do you go up to somebody who you think is a potential alien and say, place your hand here, let me check something? What's a slick way of doing that though? How can I do that? Asking for myself. I ain't even gonna say asking for a friend. Asking for myself. How do I find out because that could be the tell sign right there. They live amongst us, they look like us, they're able to blend in, but what if they don't have fingerprints? Might be on to something right there. We just got to figure out how to check, per se.
Listen to it for free on YouTube. They got the whole audiobook.
Did Buddy die? Like
he got killed. He got killed in outside of New Mexico for sharing the all this information. And so like it's like not only do they expose what's going on with aliens, they expose what's going on with like all kinds of stuff. You know, the elites, all this stuff. He talks about all of that. And but the aliens part is super crazy. He's like people were like they agreed with the aliens that they could abduct humans just so that they could learn more about us. But the trick is they can't remember anything. So when humans are taken or whatever, they're not allowed to remember what happens when they come back, when they're put back here. And I just thought it was really cool. The book was just like, you can listen to the whole thing and it's like, he just gives the whole lowdown. But I thought that was crazy. He actually got killed because he was sharing all this stuff.
And so,
listen to it.
It's interesting that he says that because the other day the lady was like, she was telling her story and she was like, I woke up at 1:30 and the next thing I know is 4 or 5 in the morning and I'm standing in the front yard. That time in between me waking up and then being in the front yard, I have no recollection what happened in between then. So it's kind of like they scramble your memory, or like Men in Black do, they come up and they flashy thing you. You know what I mean? But everybody sort of has those similarities in their story. You know what I mean? Or they just remember a bright light and people standing over them. Everything else is kind of fuzzy and foggy. You noticing that, right? We're picking up this pattern.
The gray thing. Here we have another case of, is this astronaut a liar or is this a true story? This is a story told by an anonymous online user that claims to be an astronaut who once saw an alien in an underground US base. He claimed to have been traveling through a US base that he didn't want to name as there is only a number of people allowed in and he doesn't want to be tracked. At this base, he saw a person that was gray, and he was definitely not from this planet. Obviously. When out in space, he had seen a fleet of aircraft that he knew were UFOs, but he didn't think we had any contact with them yet. It wasn't until that moment that he realized that not only do we have contact with them, but also the aliens are actually already living among us. The gray thing. Here we have another case.
Yeah, and they're our advisors. How does that make you feel? To know who we think, or to just think about who we think's running the country isn't necessarily running the country. Now, I know y'all feel like some of the politicians are already like puppets and people that have more money and power are controlling them. That's true. But what if you have aliens ultimately pulling the strings and controlling things and our advisors of what we're doing and where we're going and what we should do next? That could be what is going on, fam. Could you imagine that?
Before, maybe if I
listen, I posed that question the other day, man. If you have an injured alien, what are you doing? Are you helping? Huh? Would you like to have a favor owed to you from an alien? Imagine you help an alien out, man. You nurse him back to health, or whatever that is, by the way. But you nurse him back to 100%. And he some kind of way figures out to communicate to you that, thank you, and now I owe you one. How would you feel to be owed a favor by an alien? Are you immediately cashing that in, or are you holding on to that favor? You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I just hope I'm never put in that situation or dilemma to where I gotta be like, choose, man, because the opposite could be true too. You nurse him back to health, and as soon as he's 100%, he turns on you and takes you in and holds you captive. What are you doing? Oh man, what are you doing? That's a heck of a decision. I hope I never have to make, because I feel like it ain't gonna always be like E.T. or something like that from back in the day. It just automatically becomes your friend.
I'm a psychic medium. I've never encountered an alien, but I fully believe in them, and here's why. The main reason that I believe in aliens, as most people imagine aliens to be, that is beings on from other dimensions and other planets, is based on a past life regression that I had several years ago. During this past life regression, I visited not only a couple of lives that I had previously lived here on the earthly plane, but I also was shown a lifetime that I spent on another planet, or actually in another galaxy. And it was truly interesting. I was basically shown that in addition to choosing whether or not we want to reincarnate here on Earth, we can also choose other experiences. One of them being a being or an alien on another planet. And in this case, I was on a planet that looked very much to me, the way I was shown it, was that we, the aliens, looked kind of insect-like, okay? And it was very much a hive mentality. There was not the richness of the experience that we had here on Earth. There was nothing scary about it, but it was almost as if we were bees in a hive, all working towards a common goal. It was very military-like, precise. I don't know how else to explain it other than what was shown to me. And the only other person that I was shown that I shared this experience with was my son-in-law, who, by the way, happens to be an alien fanatic, or, is interested in that kind of stuff. Bottom line, my encounter with the alien world was not scary at all. I found it rather boring, and I realized by the end of what I had seen, that wasn't something I really wanted to experience again. I'd much rather be here on Earth as a human being with all of the rich experiences and emotions and challenges, and even, yes, the crappy times that we have here are better to me than just kind of being an android, or like a really boring one, kind of being on another planet. I'm a psychic medium.
Here we go again. we have another proposed question or situation that we can find ourselves in, right? Situation is, if you pass away, you die, right? You're presented with a choice to be either human or alien. What are you choosing? What are you choosing? Huh? Some people, the curiosity is too much. They're gonna give into it. They gotta know. Some people have spent their entire lives trying to figure out whether aliens exist or not. They've gone to great lengths, great research. They've done everything. They've even bended a few lows. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out and get to the truth. And one of them happens to transition, and they're presented with being an alien or human. They're gonna probably just do it for just to satisfy the curiosity. Gotta know what it feels like to be an alien. Now that's gonna be in your brain. Y'all may talk to your family about it, your significant other. You may pose that question to them and just see what they say. Y'all let me know in the comment section, please, what people say if y'all ask them that question. How many people you think would choose alien over human? I think it'd be more than we actually think, just because of the curiosity.
When I was in Girl Scouts, I was a part of this troop. At the time, I don't think I was a part of it, but I just kind of, my sister was, so I hung out with them. They were having a fundraiser garage sale, so I was helping out, and I was like at the Avon table, or like someone's mom was selling Avon, and this woman comes up, and she's like talking, and we're talking with her, and whatever, and then she proceeds to tell us, me and one other girl, that she was abducted by aliens. And I think about her all the time. I don't remember her name. I remember exactly what she looked like and the story she told us. And I hope wherever she is, whether it's on this planet or in another one, I hope she's doing well. When I was in Girl Scouts,
She ain't get the lady. Somebody like that, man. Y'all gotta at least exchange. Like, this is the day and age of social media. So you ain't directly gotta give somebody your number and be like, oh man, I just want to keep in touch. Maybe I have a few questions. Do you mind answering if I text you or something like that? You ain't got to do that. You can just be like, okay, what's your social media? You got Facebook? Mostly older people are on Facebook, right? So if they're older and they're telling you this, try to lead out with like Facebook. Do you have a Facebook or something like that? They're younger, middle-aged, something like that. Okay, then you can say Instagram or Twitter or something like that. But try to exchange information. You don't know why that person would, y'all cross paths and that person came into your life, man. But I know I'm gonna have a ton of questions, so I'm gonna be like, yo, let me get your social media. I had a lot of questions, and I don't want to bombard you with them today. So let's link up later. You know what I mean? Drinks on me. You know what I mean? I want to get some drinks in you, that way you can spill your guts. I want to know it all.
In case you haven't heard, the director of NASA, Bill Nelson, has recently come out to make a statement declaring that a report on unidentified anomalous phenomenon will be prepared by a group of NASA scientists with scientific space sensors, which is scheduled to be released on the month of August. Could this be possibly linked to the recent Congress hearing? In case you haven't heard, the director of NASA...
No. And I would definitely double check your source, because when you hear director of NASA, you know what I mean? That could be spun so many different ways. You know what I mean? We don't even know if it directly came from his mouth. They could just be using him as a front. I don't know. I would definitely look some more into that, though. But this had to be back in, the middle of this year? Closer to the beginning of the year? You talking about this type of stuff? So, or summertime. Let's just say summertime. Have we heard anything yet? No.
Tell a story about an unbelievable supernatural experience you've had. Part 2. I'm going first. So... the gray alien that I saw in front of my tent returned later on in the night. Okay, so a little recap. My partner and I were sleeping in a tent, and we heard really weird noises circling our tent, and then when we get ready to leave, we open our door and see an 8-foot tall, what I believe to be a gray, staring at us. We proceed to kind of run, try not to run. We're like speed walking across the yard, say we're going this way. Just along the tree line, I could see this thing like slipping through the trees. It looked so weird, like definitely not human of any sort. So we run up the stairs and get inside. And when we get inside, his aunt and uncle are already sitting there wide awake because they had a weird feeling. And these are the most like enlightened, in tune people I've ever met. And they're just sitting there like, what's going on? What's going on? Something's wrong. I'm like, yeah, something's wrong. And we proceed to kind of tell them what we just experienced. We all smoked together. It was around 3 o'clock in the morning, so they set us up an air mattress and we go back to bed. The house has a really large dog. There were 2 large dogs. One of their dogs' name was Boomer. Boomer decided to sleep in the living room right next to us that night, and something startled him, which startled us. It was pretty spooky. We wake up to Boomer just making a straight beeline at the sliding glass door, which if we sat up, which was right in front of us, about 10 feet away, he's barking and going crazy and just goes for the door and starts scratching at the door going crazy. And we sit up in time to see what I believe was the same figure standing at the door staring in. And when Boomer hit the door and started going crazy, this thing literally evaporated into thin air and kind of shot upwards, which is gone. And yeah, we sat up in time just to see the same figure staring at us and disappear right before our eyes. So yeah, that all happened, and I'll never forget it. This was in Humboldt County, California. Not that the address really matters much, but it was in fact 666 Old Wagon Road. I'm not going to tell you where, but that was the address. It was pretty weird. In the middle of the redwoods, and then a friend reported that later that week he saw the same figure pacing in front of this super spooky gate that was towards the beginning of the road. Big, like, military looking gate leading up to a huge gravel driveway. But yeah, this thing was a lurkin', and I believed we survived a pack of them. So yeah, stay on the lookout.
Y'all probably laugh like I did or chuckle when she talked about, yeah, we came back and they were like, what happened? What happened? And we told them and explained, and we all smoked together. I know it. I heard somebody yell out, oh, I bet they did smoke together. What were they smoking? You know what I mean? You can't say stuff like that. Yeah, you give the skeptics and the naysayers room to more ammo to fire, man, when you say stuff like that. But anyway, though, I'm starting to hope the government does have an alien in their possession, because now we're hearing they can disappear. Like, their abilities and things that they can do seems to be endless. We hear something new all the time that they're able to do. So I hope we do have one in capture that we're holding, that we're studying his ability and what he can do, and figuring out how we can stop it, or at least learn how to do what they do. You know what I mean? What gives them certain powers possibly, or allows them to look like us and blend in. You know what I mean? Different things. I hope we have one so we can have that information, bro, because that's crazy. But listen, man, y'all get at me in the comment section and let me know what you thought of these bizarre and strange and crazy and creepy videos. It's your boy L, man. Stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.